What happens when negative momentum dies away? Posted on December 8th, 2011. When your awareness becomes focused in this physical body during your waking hours, it immediately becomes identified with the mind and brain because the mind is the only noisy part or the part of the body that produces wordy thoughts. When you're in the state of being, you give constant attention to the mind's thought space and you create unconscious interpretations of your own based on your identification. In this unconscious state of being, there is a total identification with fears of the mind, plus your own fears out of your sensitivity, owing to being identified with the physical body. Your attention has the power to amplify or create a force of attraction on any thought it focuses on. This is the potential of the energy that you are. So when your attention is lost in mind identification over the years, you end up creating a momentum of negativity through your unconscious focus on the negativity of the mind and your sensitivity to physicality. Some people have lower negative momentum compared to others because 1, their mind is less prone to fear owing to genetics, or 2, their surroundings create less fear conditioning. However, in a state of unconscious identification, there is bound to be a presence of momentum of negativity in your energy space. The intensity of it can vary from person to person. This momentum of negativity acts like a block that keeps you from sensing your wholeness that you were naturally connected with as a child. Carrying a heavy baggage of negativity. To carry this momentum of negativity in your being is like carrying a physical baggage that's constantly weighing you down and creating fatigue in you. This momentum is real. It feels solid within you. Because this momentum is so strongly present, it feels like a part of you and you become identified with it to such an extent that you're fearful of letting go of it. This identification with negativity is what leads to the creation of a negative ego, which acts like an entity that thrives on negativity and attracts negativity on the outside to feed on. When you take yourself to be the negative ego, you see through the lens of negativity and hence end up interpreting reality in a negative way. Plus, your focus keeps amplifying elements of the negative ego. You only realize the congestion created by this negative energy accumulation within you when you're free of it. It's like realizing how much space is present in a room when you clear it of all the clutter. In the presence of the negative momentum, it's not possible to imagine what a state of wholeness feels like. You can get a taste of it now and then during moments of relief or when you're in love with someone or something, when your focus shifts to love for a while instead of being focused on the negative momentum. This makes you feel that you have to cling to the object or person in whose association you felt this taste of wholeness, and this clinging just ends up adding more elements of negativity to your negative momentum. This is one reason why we keep searching on the outside for wholeness, because in our memory we tasted this wholeness when there were moments of love or relief on the possession of someone or something. The question is whether you want to keep tasting wholeness all your life or if you would like to be permanently rooted in it. Disillusion of negative momentum is a challenging phase. As I mentioned above, over time the momentum of negativity becomes so solid that it feels like a part of you, and you take yourself to be the negative ego. So when you awaken to your truth and see through the dysfunction of being identified with the negative ego structure and negativity per se, you start moving towards letting go of it. This process feels very challenging initially because of years of identification that you hold with negativity. There are strong neural paths created in the brain in response to the identification with negativity, and they create a sense of addiction to negative patterns. When the mind senses the disillusion of the negative ego, it feels a sense of panic because it feels that a part of its identity structure is dissolving. If you just allow these fears to arise and not be taken in by it, they will pass away automatically, and this whole dissolution phase happens smoothly. If you equate the process of dissolution of the negative momentum with the process of becoming free of a certain addiction, like addiction to smoking, then you get a sense of the discomfort you can feel due to the withdrawal symptoms. When you quit smoking after years of smoking, the body goes into realigning with its harmony, and this energy movement feels unpleasant in your being. The intensity of discomfort can last for close to 3 weeks or maybe even a month. But as long as you know that something positive is happening, you won't be too worried about the discomfort. The same way, when the momentum of negativity is ebbing away, it creates unpleasant sensations in the body because of the energy movement, and its intensity will keep ebbing away with time. Remember that this momentum has been built over several years of identification, so it takes a few months for it to die down in intensity, depending on the load you're carrying. Knowing this will ensure that you don't feel any anxiousness about the energy movement that happens in your being as you start letting go of fueling the negative momentum. This is a very physical process, and your body also goes through an inner restructuring to adapt to this resistance-free state of being. The experience of being free of the negative momentum. The simplest way to describe the experience of being free of the momentum of negativity is that you feel spacious in your being. It's as if you have no boundaries within and nothing really penetrates you anymore with any intensity. It can simply be called a place of no psychological suffering, and that's a very accurate description of what you feel because you are incapable of emotional hurt in this place. You don't become uncaring or insensitive to your environment. It's actually the other way around, where you become more capable of love, but without any emotional suffering or drama. Physically, you feel free within. It's like there's nothing within you that seems to anchor onto anything. It's like you're just space. Everything just passes through you without putting up tent. I speak from personal experience, so none of this is an airy-fairy spiritual talk. It's a very real thing, a very real place that's always here but was clouded due to the momentum of negativity which gets created through unconscious identification. We all have equal access to this place within us. All that's required is that we have a brain that's capable of some introspection and reasoning. It's a very available state of being, and you can reach this place by going through the process of letting go of identification with negativity, allowing the deconstruction of the negative ego and the dissolution of the momentum of negativity. I call this place wholeness because you don't feel contracted in this place. It's open just like space. Since you're in touch with wholeness in yourself, you no longer cling to people or objects to give you this taste. Hence, you are free of neediness and craving. You're also free of emotional suffering and drama, and you don't feel overwhelmed by anything. This place is just the right place for creating a positive reality because you're not moving from a place of inner lack or incompleteness. All it takes is the allowing of the process of dissolution of the negativity momentum through disidentification. It's very scientific, and you can sense progress happening on a daily basis. It's not some vague spiritual process. Rather, it's a very practical process of scientifically letting go of identification with negativity by seeing through it in your awareness.